Friday. This is Steph Lee, founder of Host Agency Reviews, and this is the Friday 15, where every Friday, 12 p.m. Central Time, we answer the industry questions you have submitted to us. Very excited today. We have Jenn Lee as our co-host today with TPI. Hello, Jen.
Hi, sister from another Mr. and Mrs.
Yes, I should say we're not related, even though we both have the same last name, and we both have fun names like Steph Lee, Jenn Lee.
Jenn Lee, exactly.
Do people always say Jenn Lee when they're talking about, because people always do Steph Lee?
Yeah, no, I definitely introduce myself as Jenn Lee. People refer to me as Jenn Lee. People even refer to my husband as Randy Lee. So yeah, there's something about that last name Lee. It's so catchy.
Yeah, loving it. All right, well, let's see. A couple things to go over before we get into our questions today. So one is we are going to have a new chatter episode out. So for those that aren't familiar with it, the Friday 15, if you're listening on the podcast feed, is like 15 minutes every Friday. The travel agent chatter comes out quarterly, and it's usually about 60 minutes long. And we do in-depth kind of seeing what makes advisors successful and people from all different corners of the world. And next week, it's really exciting because the advisor that we're interviewing, I just finished our pre-interview, like our discovery call, and so fun because she does meetings, incentives, and charters. And she was in 2019 NCL's, Celebrities, and Royal Caribbean's meetings, incentive, and charters agency of the year. So she'll have lots of great tips. Yeah, it's an area, I have to say, it's an area I don't know tons about. And so I was really enjoying getting to learn a little bit more about that side of the business. And so keep an eye out for that in the podcast feed. And then the last thing is we got a note from Rick Artis, and he had written in because in episode 104, which was maybe like a month and a half ago. So someone had written in with questions about price matching on United Vacations, and Rick had this to add to it. So he's like, Steph, a couple of weeks ago, a question came up on your podcast where a consumer found a lower price on a United package than she could find on United Vacations VAC site. The consumer may have checked on packages.united.com, which is a Priceline website. This is not United Vacations by ALGV, which is Apple Leisure Group Vacations. I've always found United Vacations prices to be the same in VACs as on their consumer site, which I had no idea. So thank you so much, Rick. Because I think on that episode, Lindsay Taylor Lauer was co-hosting, and she had mentioned, just that you can't always compete on price. So but that's just a little random tidbit. So thank you so much, Rick, for writing that in.
I love me some Rick Artis. He's he's an ASTA chapter director. That's why I know Rick.
Sure is. That's how I know him too. It was like, I missed you at AGC. And then Mary wrote back to him. She's like, that'd been weird if you'd seen Steph because she wasn't there. So, well, Jen, first question for the day comes in from DP, and they ask, gifting a dinner for booking Disney, does this slide under their no rebating policy?
Excellent question. And I'm actually really excited to hear that there's an advisor ensuring that they're doing things right. So kudos to you, DP. Now, when it comes to Disney, there's definitely a lot of things that you should know. And so I reached out to one of our top Disney advisors, the owners of Creating Magic Vacation, Rob and Carrie Stewart, and just to make sure I was answering this correct. And good news, DP, no, it does not fall under the rebate policy. It is just a client gift. Really, the rebate policy is if you are actually discounting the fare for Disney. So thanks, Rob and Carrie, for the answer. And thanks, DP, for the question.
Yes. And Jen, I was on the same path as you. And I asked my old BDM here, and he was like, nope, totally okay. So just a couple of things, though, for Disney. I'm going to pull up the site really quick because if there is someone out there booking Disney, there are a few resources on the site I wanted to let you know. One is our Disney dining reservation calculator. You can sign up for that here. And why it's nice is, I'm not sure, a big thunderstorm just started. I don't know if you can hear it.
I can't, but we have one here in Fort Lauderdale right now.
How exciting!
Happy raining together.
Happy stormies. But so with the Disney dining reservation calculator, all you do is you enter the first day of the trip. So whenever they're checking in, and then the calculator will tell you when to book your Disney dining, the lodging, the events, and more. And what you can do is you can also brand that calculator to your agency and embed it on your site for clients to use as well. So we'll put
Awesome.
that link in the comments. And then other things in this article that we're going to link to too is, here's something nice too, is it has a list of an Excel sheet with all the Disney World restaurants that accept reservations and where they're located, which offer the character experiences and or events, and which are in high demand. So that's just another resource for you from the Har team.
I love it.
Yes. Let's see. Okay, next question. Whew, this is a good one.
Okay.
So it's from Anonymous, probably because they don't want the IRS to come after them. I am about to start June 5th. So yay. Already have started, but my home-based travel business in North Carolina. And I have searched the internet for information about charging sales tax for travel services. And I haven't found anything definitive about charging these sales taxes for travel services. I've called my state taxation office, poor person, and I cannot get a straight answer. I got a shaky yes, a no because it is a service and not a merchandise, and a go ahead and charge the tax and give refunds if they'll give refunds if I wasn't supposed to charge them. No. So their question is, are we supposed to be charging sales tax on travel services we provide? I don't want to get in trouble with the tax man, and I don't want to be sued for charging something I shouldn't be charging. Please help. Oh, well, that is a great story of the 3 different answers from the tax people. So last week we did cover this with sales tax, and Jen, like, you're a really active member in ASTA. So let's talk about ASTA before we go into the details, because this is what they do.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, great news. You do not need to charge sales tax on a service-related business. And that's whether you're in the travel industry or not. It's really about products that are being sold that will be taxed. But the good news is, and the reason why Steph's bringing in ASTA to this, is that could be something someday. As a matter of fact, several years ago, there was a bill that was on the floor, or coming to the floor, or being proposed, that wanted to charge income tax to advisors based on the sales amount, right? So you sold a $10,000 cruise and you made a $1,600 commission. You're going to get charged income tax on that $1,600. Well, the government wanted to charge you based on the $10,000. That would have put every single travel advisor out of business. So ASTA went in hard and heavy. Used our lobbying arm that we have in our advocacy arm, grassroots, as well as within the ASTA corporate headquarters, and fought that. And thankfully, it didn't really get anywhere. But that's an example of how the government does not understand what travel advisors do. Yeah. And so ASTA, that's part of their big mission, is to promote and protect the travel agency community. So everybody who is a travel advisor and booking travel should be a member of ASTA.
Exactly. Yes. And we'll put a link to ASTA's site for membership. Not only do they do this advocacy that Jen and I are talking about, they also have tons of education in there. Lots of courses you can take. They have great events and webinars you can attend. So they do a lot more than just the advocacy portion of things.
And there's local chapters all over the United States. So there's the best way to learn is from fellow advisors in many cases. So make sure you check out the local chapters as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so last week, I was telling Jen before we went live on this, I was like, I've been doing this for 15 years and I've never gotten a question about sales tax before, because I would have had to look it up because I didn't know. Yeah. And I was like, I got 2 in 2 weeks. It was the craziest thing. So we're going to link back to episode 109, which was last week. So people can take a listen for more information about this tax. But like Jen said about the income tax, also one thing that happens a lot on the state side is they try to bring up doing sales tax for advisors, which is going to cut into your commissions. And it's already, the margins are thin in travel. So I did write, just to give people, if you don't want to listen to the whole episode, but quick overview is the only state in the US that charges sales tax for services on travel agencies. It's very specific. It's West Virginia, and it's for intrastate travel. So if you're booking from one place in West Virginia to another, then technically you're supposed to pay a tax on that, although I'm sure no one will come after you for it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, Eben, who heads up kind of the advocacy things on the ASTA side that he wrote, was that New Mexico and South Dakota have taxes on gross receipts. And you can listen to more on that on episode 109, because I do not want to repeat that information.
Oh,
not that I don't love what Eben does, but it's kind of dry. So
yeah. That's why you pay them to do it.
I know, that's why we have Asta around, because I definitely
Totally.
do not want to be digging around in sales taxes.
Totally.
All right. So next question comes another shy person. We've got an anonymous. Okay, I am interested in providing the best options for my clients, even if that means lower or no commission. I charge a decent planning fee, so I'm good to go there. Great to hear. My question is, how common is it for advisors to be dual hosted by hosts who are members of different consortia? In my case, I'd love to have access to both Virtuoso and Signature benefits for my clients, so I can choose which is best for a client on a client by client basis. Mm-hmm. However, while advisors are independent, it doesn't seem like a lot of host agencies would be keen to support advisors whose loyalty is split. Mm-hmm. So, Jen, how do you feel about multi-dual affiliation?
Well, at TPI, we don't care if you dual affiliate, but what we do find is that you realize you're not, like, by splitting up your production because you want something over here and something over there, you're not really reaping the benefits of additional services that a single host agency would be able to provide you. As an example, I was just on the phone with an advisor that's only about $120,000 away from going to a higher level within TPI, and she's booking about $300,000 on her own outside of the host agency. She realizes as soon as she brings it in, she's now at a higher level commission. She's qualifies for a ton of other inaugurals and FAMs and special invites and stuff. So advisors, some think that that's the smart way to go. We find a lot do not. So from a TPI standpoint, and there are several host agencies that allow you to dual host, but consortias do not allow you to dual affiliate. So Signature is our consortia. And so if you want to take advantage or even have a login to Signature, you cannot have a login to Virtuoso or to Travel Leaders or to Ensemble or any other consortia out there. And the majority of the consortias operate that way. So just because you're dual hosting doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to dual be able to tap into two different consortias. So you have to make a decision which consortia and host agency has the most robust offerings for you. And you might miss out on one thing over here, but if you're with a good consortia and a good host agency, it's really going to be few and far between.
Yeah. So we actually do have hard numbers as well, Anonymous, on how many advisors dual affiliate or belong to more than one. So they might be triple affiliated. I don't know. Yeah. But it is 4% as of 2021, 4% of people that took our annual survey, which we just closed and we'll be having results out soon, but they multiple affiliated. So it's not something that's common. And I'll put a link into an article we wrote about being dual affiliated, because like Jen says, there's, a lot of people will do it strictly for the commissions, and which is not what's driving you, but it doesn't usually end up having to learn two systems, build two relationships with
you're
different
paying
companies.
Double the fees. You're paying double the fees. You're also confusing some of the travel partners out there when you're talking to them. You might be at a trade show and you're at a trade show for one agency, and then all of a sudden you're talking to a partner on a cruise line and he's like, but wait, I thought you were with this agency. Oh, I'm somewhat with this agency. You know what? It just lessens your credibility, and find the one that fits you best and stick with that, because that's where you're going to get your most support. You're going to be able to get your biggest bang for your dollars as well as your time and energy.
Yeah, and I'm just going to show really quick on our report here. Where's Travel Advisor Operations? Here we go. So I believe this is where we find the information. So just what we're looking at here is our hosted advisor report from last year, which is where you can find tons of delicious information. All right, so here we go. Host agency relationships. So you can see 4% with multiple hosts, 96% with one host. And while we're at it here, switching host agencies, 9% of advisors switched host agencies in 2021. So not super common on either part. And we'll link to these reports so people will be able to see them and get some information on them.
Yep.
Well, Jenn, it has been a pleasure oh my God, we're at 15 minutes. We are never right on time.
I know. I was just getting ready to say that. Like,
we're so good today.
We're so good.
Okay, so you have to be really quick. What's the best way for people to contact you?
You know what? Just reach out to me directly. If anybody wants to hop on a quick call with me for 15 minutes, I love doing these power sessions with advisors. So just send me an email at jennl@tpionline.com. And if you don't want to talk to me, that's okay. I have a Facebook group that I started during the pandemic that's not TPI related. It's all motivation, best practices. And that is Fiercely Forward Travel Advisors, which is a Facebook group, Fiercely Forward Travel Advisors. And there's advisors from all over the country and Canada that are part of that.
Cool. I'm going to find that link and I'll put it in the comments for everybody. Yeah. So we'll also put a link to Travel Planner International's profile so you can read up on their program, their reviews, that sort of thing. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Next, we have Million Miles Travel being our co-host. The following week, we have Lindsay Taylor Lauer back again as a co-host. And then June 30th, we have Outside Agents. So if you haven't already signed up to get reminders with the questions for the week, you can go to hostagencyreviews.com/Friday15. And thank you, Jenn, for joining us. And we will see you all next week.
Thanks, guys. Bye.